It's a crisp morning in a bustling coastal town. Fishermen cast their nets into the ocean, families enjoy walks on the sandy beach, and local factories hum with activity, producing goods for markets near and far. The scene seems idyllic, but beneath the surface, cracks in the system begin to emerge. The market, that seemingly self-regulating force, isn't working perfectly. This is a story of market failure, when invisible hands fumble and the common good is at risk. Let's start with Mia, who owns a small bakery. Her success depends on the factory down the road, which supplies affordable packaging materials. But lately, Mia has noticed something troubling. The factory emits thick smoke that darkens the skies and fills the air with a sharp smell. Her customers complain, some even staying away. Here we see a classic case of a negative externality, a cost created by the factory's production that affects others but isn't reflected in its prices. The factory focuses on minimizing costs and maximizing profit, and the pollution it creates isn't its problem, or so it seems. But for Mia, her customers, and even the town's health, it very much is a problem. The market has failed to account for the true cost of the factory's activities. Without intervention, pollution becomes a burden shared by everyone, even those not responsible for it. Now, imagine Tom, a local fisherman who sails out every morning to catch fresh seafood. His livelihood depends on the ocean, but lately his catches have been shrinking. Why? Other fishermen, eager to maximize their haul, have been overfishing. This is an example of the tragedy of the commons, a term that describes the overuse of shared resources when individuals act in their own interest, depleting the resource for everyone. The ocean is a common access resource, one that's available to all but difficult to regulate. Unlike private goods, which have clear ownership, common resources like fish in the sea or clean air are shared by many. When access is unrestricted, the incentive is to take as much as possible before others do, often leading to depletion or degradation. The story of market failure often revolves around a disconnect between individual incentives and collective well-being. Externalities, whether negative like pollution or positive like the planting of a park that benefits the neighborhood, aren't accounted for in the price system. Common access resources, on the other hand, suffer from a lack of ownership or regulation, leading to overuse and eventual scarcity. But what can be done? Let's revisit Mia's town. The government steps in, introducing a pollution tax on the factory. This forces the factory to consider the cost of its emissions, incentivizing it to invest in cleaner technologies. Over time, the air clears and Mia's customers return. By internalizing the externality, the government corrects the market failure, aligning private costs with social costs. For Tom and the fishermen, a different solution arises. A coalition of local leaders establishes a quota system, limiting the amount of fish each person can catch. The fishermen agree to these rules, knowing that preserving the resource ensures long-term sustainability. Over time, the fish population recovers, and Tom's business thrives again. The lessons don't stop there. Consider global issues like climate change. Greenhouse gas emissions are a negative externality on a massive scale, with effects that ripple across the planet. Or think about deforestation, where common resources like rainforests are cleared for short-term gain, disrupting ecosystems and worsening global warming. These challenges highlight how market failures can occur at every level, from local communities to the entire world. Despite its flaws, the market is a powerful tool. But when it fails, as with externalities and common access resources, it needs help. Governments, communities, and even businesses have roles to play in correcting these failures, whether through taxes, subsidies, regulations, or cooperative agreements. The goal is to realign incentives and preserve the common good. As the day in Mia's town winds down, the bakery is buzzing again, and Tom's boat is filled with a sustainable catch. The factory, once a source of pollution, is now a model for cleaner production. These successes remind us that market failures aren't inevitable. They're challenges to be addressed. With awareness, cooperation, and thoughtful intervention, we can ensure that markets work not just for individuals, but for the collective well-being of all. The next time you enjoy clean air, fresh seafood, or a well-maintained park, remember the unseen efforts to protect these shared resources. Market failures, like externalities and the tragedy of the commons, show us the importance of balancing individual actions with collective responsibility. After all, some of the best solutions come not from the market alone, but from the communities and systems working to support it.